Hello everyone, my name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music from games I've never played or heard about as a musician myself. This is a request by Bobblegum, J Money, and Leaky Peach. NieR Replicant, NieR Gestalt. Shadowlord, my most requested song from NieR. All of NieR's. NieR Automata, NieR Replicant, NieR whatever. Shadowlord. Shadowlord. I've been hearing this name for almost a year now. And that tells me two things. One, it's either just super dope, or two, it's a very, very important part of the game, which to me, my brain defaults to the end or something. And with a name like Shadowlord, that may sound like a final boss to me. That's my guess. It's usually the formula I get after so many requests. It's like, okay, well, there's a reason why it's requested. Anyway, I played Automata about a month or two ago, and that's because of the music I discovered on this channel. I wanted to play it, and it's the same thing that's happening here. I'm about to play this game tomorrow for the first time because of the music. So this one's going to be interesting because I do love all of NieR music so far, but I'm always nervous when it comes to big requests because it has to kind of like live up to a hype in a way. I'm sure it'll be awesome, but you just never know. And I don't know, something about it just tells me like when I hear such a big request, I want it to be my favorite. Like, oh, but so far my favorite is hard to top. So anyways, enough rambling. This is NieR Replicant, Shadowlord. The male choir in the background. I just got an idea. The two choirs happening simultaneously is pretty great. Oh, it's already fading out? Oh. Oh, that was short. Okay. So I think it feels like I was correct about a potential final boss. And the only reason I say that is, one, it's short, so it probably loops. But also the feeling of it, of course. It's very, you know, it's very dynamic, it's very in your face. But also, it has a slow intro. So when I hear intros like that then all of a sudden go into this beat, that makes me think it's like, well, that during that intro, that's when like something comes out, a couple last words are said, and then all of a sudden, boom, battle starts, music starts. That's how it felt like. So it felt very, maybe not endgame, you know, it's hard to tell if something sounds like the finale, but it definitely sounded like a boss, for sure. But also, I noticed something. The use of the organ. As far as I know, I think, I could be wrong, but the organ is not used all that often. And when I do think of the organ, I think of Dark Colossus. And that is a huge, huge boss. So maybe NieR saves organs for like really massive entities, or I'm just, you know, throwing stuff out there, but that's just the first thing I thought of. I'm like, whoa, you know, I think of Kaiju Dark Colossus when I hear that. And it also kind of had the same feel, but this had a huge emphasis on choir. And when I think of choir that much, and not only but multiple parties of choir, I think of churches, bell towers, but also same with the organ. So I kept overwhelmingly seeing like church or some type of religious building, stuff in that regard, temples, castles, etc., stuff like that. I kept overwhelmingly seeing, like, usually when you hear an organ and then that kind of vocal style over it, it just kind of brings you there. For example, the tower section of Automata, right? Kind of has like the tall buildings, the pillars everywhere, stuff like that. That's like, I heard this song during like the pillar section before the grand finale, I guess, of Automata. The only Shadowlord. That's so specific though, and it's singular, right? That's what makes me think it's a boss. Shadowlord. Not Shadowlords, just one. But the fact that it's so requested, it just has to be. There's so many conflicting thoughts in my head. To me, it sounds like it can sound like a generic boss. It can sound like a final boss. See, but it's funny because I'm backtracking now. But that just shows the power of NieR music. That everything sounds epic, everything sounds cool, but also everything can sound not as important as well, but it's still effective. This may be one of the few games in the entire world that just does not have bad music in it. Bold statement, but there's a reason why. You know, I even want to dive into them. I am someone who has no time, you know, and I'm not bragging, but I don't have time. You know, I'm busy. And for me to like take time away just so I can play and experience these things, just to get an idea of, you know, and that goes for every game. I want to experience what you guys do. I don't have context. For these, I want context. I crave it. So I will take time out of my day to go play and experience it. And I'm glad I did with the time. And I'm going to do it again in Replicant. Will I like the game? Who knows? But I will like them. I already. It's weird going into a game knowing I already like something in it. You know, when I bought games as a kid, I just played them because like, oh, well, either the art looks cool or something, or whatever. But I never like kind of knew stuff beforehand. You know, this time I'm like, well, I'm playing it because I love something so much from it. So it's kind of weird knowing that the whole playthrough I'm gonna be like excited for like all these sounds and stuff, but have no idea how the rest of the game is. But I can't wait, and I'll stick with it. But I can't wait. Now, as far as what I said earlier about it's not a negative point. I know it's the most popular request, but it's not a negative point. I just want to reiterate that. Like I said, the pressure is there with a high request. So I will say it is not my favorite song in Replicant. I think that's fair. Everyone has opinions. And it's just a really good song, but it's not my favorite in Replicant. I think Replicant has far, far better songs. But that's comparing it to like, it's like choosing your favorite kid. So it doesn't say much. They're all so good, but I just personally think there's some better ones. But I'm curious as to why it's the most popular. I'll find out, I'm sure. But it's really good. Really good. I love the title. Sounds evil. Shadowlord. And it's the whole song sounded pretty menacing. It sounded uncomfortable. But it definitely to me sounded like church, temple, tower, whatever. Boss. When I hear those drums, I think boss. You're fighting, you're swinging stuff too. Also that too. A big thing about these songs is that they're so much more enhanced when you have sound effects and talking and sword swinging around. That's when these songs really get elevated. So that unfortunately concludes my journey with NieR Replicant. It was one of the first games I did on this channel, and right away it caught my attention, and here we are about to play both of them back to back almost. And I can't wait to start my first playthrough, so it's something I'm looking forward to quite a bit. And I won't be doing any more NieR requests, unfortunately, but maybe they just need to make another game. If you want to make a request, you could do so on Patreon or PayPal. Either are totally fine, and those are guaranteed ways I will check out your song. If you do not want to wait in the gigantic backlog waitlist, there is the Platinum Trophy tier on Patreon and the Expedite tier request to the very top. A big thank you to Aiden, Justin, Kevin, Mushimary, the BRM, Your Average Metalhead, and DJ Singletone for being a part of that. Thanks to you for watching. I will see you on Twitch, and let's just dive into a new adventure. My name is Jesse. This has been my NieR Replicant-a-thon. I will see you all later. Peace.